Beyond the Law of Attraction with Barbara Schreiner-Trudel. The Law of Thinking. To many people, life seems to be a bit of an enigma. We struggle with how to get things done, how to accomplish our dreams, how to move forward in the direction that we'd really like to go. There seems to be a lot of struggle that happens for many. And I think part of it is the distractions that are around us, the distractions of sounds, of busyness, of careers, of advertising, of news. There is all this information bombarding us all the time. And we tend to sometimes become overwhelmed by it, or actually to buy into the fear of it. And as a result, our lives begin to reflect that same consciousness. In the law of thinking, what I'd like you to understand is that what we think about comes about. That when we focus our attention in a certain way and think along certain lines, what happens is there is an effect. If we are worried all the time, if we are negative all the time, if we are angry all the time, what happens is we attract to us experiences that correspond with those thoughts. Okay, so first the thought, then the experience. Now, I know it looks like it happens the other way around, that I have an experience and I react with a thought. And that does happen. We have experiences and we react with a thought. But where did the experience come from? I want you to think about that. You see, when we're thinking, we're thinking about things, we're thinking about our lives, we're thinking about our journey, we're thinking about our neighbor, we're thinking about our friends, we're thinking about ourselves. The thoughts that we're thinking predominantly are the thoughts that are going to create our future. So what I think about comes about. When I think a certain thought, I begin to attract to me an experience that matches it. If I'm going around telling myself every other day or every other hour that I'm an idiot, and I know there are some people who do say that to themselves inside their head. They get in a car accident and the first thing is, oh my God, you're so stupid, what an idiot, I can't believe you did that. When we treat ourselves with such disrespect, we set up an energy field that attracts that same thing. And people treat us the same way. Now, what's interesting to me is that inside my own head, I might call myself an idiot or stupid or a loser. But if somebody in front of me stands up and does it, man, I am outraged. How dare you speak to me like that? And really what they're doing is reflecting a consciousness that I hold about myself. So the first thing to understand is that what we think about comes about, that the general focus of my thought is actually drawing to me experiences. It's really important that I start to get a sense of that. The predominant mental state that I live in is the most creative. So if I've spent most of my life feeling that life is hard, that everything works out for everybody else but not for me, everything is difficult, then my life is going to reflect that. So you see, I do get to be right. What I want you to think about today is being happy instead. We begin to shift our energy. In a wonderful book called Working with the Law by Raymond, Holliwell, he says, the evidence of the senses are the only facts that some accept. But now we shall realize more and more that it is what we believe that determines what we shall see. In other words, believing is seeing. So in other words, what I think about, what I focus on, what I imagine, those are the things that I begin to attract into my life. Now, sometimes what we're thinking about is, oh no, there's some terrible disease out there and I might get it. Oh no, some bad thing is going to happen to me tomorrow. Oh no, I'm such an idiot again. I've screwed up my life. we start to think about all these negative things. We worry about things that haven't even yet happened, and our energy and our focus and our thoughts are all on how powerless we are, what victims we are. And then the world around us reflects that, yes, this is the truth. This is our experience. But I think for most of you, what you realize is that is not the way you want to live your life. And what I'm here to tell you today is that you are powerful and creative and you can turn it around. That if that's what your life looks like today, you have the power to change it, and the way you do that is by checking in with your thinking and making changes where necessary. When you catch yourself being rude to you, stop it. When you catch yourself being critical and judgmental of you, stop it. When you catch yourself being critical and judgmental of others, stop it. 2 words, stop it. And what we want to do is we want to interrupt that pattern of being, that criticism, that judgment, that self-loathing. And what we want to do is begin to implement different ideas and thoughts. Now, the power of our thinking is inexhaustible. Like, there is no limit to the thought process and the imagination and what it is we can do with it. It is totally unbound. We can take it to the max. What I want you to do is just to be aware of the possibilities of your thinking, to be aware of how powerful the mind is and what fertile soil it is that this mind is, and that the seeds we plant in it, it's really important that those seeds are actually moving us in the direction we want to go rather than where we were that we didn't like. You know, if something bad happened and we think about it today, we just relived it. We brought it back in. If we think about it again tomorrow, we brought it back in. So one bad thing happened that took maybe a half an hour, but now we've relived it 1,000 times. And so we have actually caused hours and hours and hours and a lifetime of grief that started with 30 minutes. Or 15 minutes, or even 5 minutes, or one word somebody said to us that we took as some kind of criticism or insult. And then we relive it, and we relive it, and we relive it, and we relive it. And this is creating our current reality. We want to stop doing that. We want to begin in this moment to start thinking along the lines that will move us in the direction that we would like to go in. You got that? We want to think in a way that moves us toward our goal. Makes sense, doesn't it? Okay, so here's a little exercise I'd like you to do. Every day, just take a few minutes to sit in the silence. Just sit quietly. First thing in the morning when you get up, just allow yourself to sit in a chair comfortably and to take a deep breath in and then breathe it out. And then just allow yourself to notice your natural rhythm of breath. Don't do anything with it. Don't try to breathe deeply or do any, just your natural breath. Notice when you breathe in and notice when you breathe out. And maybe when you inhale, you could think inhaling, and when you exhale, you could think exhaling. And do that for 20 minutes every morning. And if you're really passionate and really ready, do it for 20 minutes every evening as well. Allow yourself to sit in that silence. Now, one of the things that may happen is that your mind might be just scattered, going all over the place. You've got this monkey mind going on. It's just chatter, 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 chatter. When you notice that you're off planning, organizing, thinking, criticizing, judging, whatever your thought process is, when you notice it, just stop yourself and go, oh, I'm thinking again. And just go back to the breath. Inhaling, exhaling. Inhaling, exhaling. Very gentle. Don't criticize it. Don't judge it. Don't say, oh, I screwed up this quiet time. Don't go there. Just allow yourself to return to that breath. Now, what you're doing is you're interrupting your thought process. You're doing it in a disciplined fashion each and every day, which allows you to experience 2 things. One is how powerful your mind is, but second is how negative it might be currently. But you can change that. When you become aware, awareness is power. Awareness is absolute power. When you start to see that your mind is really kind of stuck in a negative story, then you can start to make a choice to do something different. I mean, imagine for a moment you were planting a garden and you planted carrot seeds. And when they grew, you were disappointed because you really wanted roses. Well, when you bought the seeds, you might have considered buying rose seeds. And so it is with our thinking. What we want to do is think along the lines that will get us where we want to go. We want to begin to think more positively about ourselves, to recognize that who we are is enough, and the dreams and wishes that we have actually are possible for us. We want to remember that what we're seeing in our life in front of us is an effect, and the cause came somewhere from our thinking. Something we think about, something we believe about ourselves. Most of this, of course, we're not consciously aware of. Now, we can shift it without having full awareness. Okay, so we don't need to go and dig up every hurtful thing that happened in the past. What we must be is willing to compassionately and respectfully move into a new way of living and being. And we have the power to do that. You see, the thoughts that are going on in our minds, we have the power to change them. Only we have the power to change them. I can change my mind, you can change your mind, but I cannot change your mind. Okay? Something you must do for yourself. So we begin right now to realize the power of our thoughts. We allow ourselves to replace fear with courage. Fear's going to show up, but we have a choice of how we deal with it. We can crumble into a ball or stand courageously and go, I can handle this. We can begin to talk about ourselves in a way that says, I'm powerful and I'm fabulous and I'm creative and I can do anything I set my mind to. And then to begin to move forward with that type of energy and discipline. We're always at choice. We're at choice about how we think and what we think about. The most important way to create the life that we've been looking for is to create an organized and disciplined mind. Our thoughts create our reality. So it's important that we begin today to take a look at what is it that I'm thinking about right now. You might even want to check in periodically throughout the day. Maybe make yourself a little note, put it in your BlackBerry or something, and have it pop up. You know, every 15 minutes or every hour and a half or every 2 hours or once a day. Whatever works for you, just something that says, what are you thinking about right now? And then check in with what it is. And without judgment, without criticism, without self-loathing, just go, wow, I was really being judgmental there. I could do that differently. Or maybe you catch yourself going, wow, I felt really happy at that moment. And notice that and acknowledge that. We're at choice. The thoughts that we think are ours. We have the power to create our life, our destiny, and we do it by beginning in mind. What I think about comes about. What I need to remember today is that my thoughts are powerful, my words are powerful, what I say is important and is creative. I really believe that the ideas and thoughts, the imagination that I have is going out into the universe, and something, the law of attraction, is drawing back to me something that matches it. And so I have the power to create a match. And what I want to do is, if I want happiness as my ultimate goal, to lead a happy, peaceful, joyous, exciting, delightful life, then I need to be living that in each and every moment. I need to start with myself and find that peace, that joy, that love, that happiness. A constructive mind, constructive thoughts is going to move me in that direction. So I invite you to start today. Take that time in silence every day. Begin to notice what you're thinking about and check in often. Is it good? Is it taking you where you want to go? And then move in that direction. More is coming up.